It all started with a case of a missing mammal. Chief Bogo called it routine. But deep within Zootopia, nothing is routine. The air below was heavy, filled with the sharp smell of decay and something chemical. I never got used to that smell. Nick tried to be witty as usual, but his jokes faded in this suffocating darkness. We both felt something was wrong. We heard a sound in the distance, like metal grinding against metal, but more organic, more wet. We drew our weapons. It was standard procedure, but at that moment, we felt like children. We had no idea what lurked in the shadows. As we advanced, I noticed a strange, purplish substance on the walls. It spread like veins, glowing faintly and morbidly. Nick caught the scent. Carrots. This is Nighthowler, he whispered. But the smell was different, much sharper, like something rotten. We found traces of the missing mammal, a piece of torn fabric on the ground, and beside it, claw marks. But they were too strange and distorted to belong to any animal. The grinding sound started again, much closer this time. It came from a junction, as if something was waiting for us. At that moment, we heard a growl. It was a sound of pain, but also of hunger. A corrupted mix of animal sounds. We entered a larger chamber. In the center, Nighthowler flowers grew, fed by sewage water. But they weren't natural. They were mutated, spiky and carnivorous looking. That's when we saw it, crouched in the far corner of the room, within the shadows. At first, we couldn't comprehend what we were looking at. It must have been a rabbit, but also a wolf. Its body was twisted. Its bones seemed to have fused in the wrong places. It was a nightmarish fusion of prey and predator. Its eyes glowed purple. There was only pure, primal hunger within. No longer a thinking, feeling being. And then it screamed. It was a horrific combination of a rabbit's death shriek and a wolf's howl of triumph. That sound will never leave my ears. "Run!" Nick yelled. I'd never run so fast in my life. The creature's claws were scratching the concrete behind us. We reached a door. As Nick tried to break the lock, I fired at the thing. Tranquilizer darts hit its skin and fell off, having no effect. The door finally opened. We dove inside, and Nick slammed the door shut behind us. The creature's furious pounding was caving in the metal. We were in a makeshift laboratory. On the tables were broken beakers, syringes, and jars filled with Nighthowler serum. The mutation was spreading from here. We found a map. It showed Zootopia's water system, and there was a route, outlined in purple, leading to the main reservoir. This wasn't just an accident. Someone was doing this deliberately. They were trying to poison the city. The silence was worse than the noise. Had it gone? Or had it found another way? We escaped the laboratory. Behind us, we could hear the ceiling collapsing and the creature's furious shriek, but it wasn't alone. There were more in the corridors. They were horrific fusions of different animals, predators and prey. There was no escape now, only fighting. This wasn't a police operation. This was a massacre. Nick pointed to a nearby steam pipe. This was our only chance. If we could overload the pressure, as I distracted them, Nick reached the valve. Every second felt like an eternity. Claws and teeth came from all sides. The pipe burst. Scalding steam filled the air. The creature's pained screams were drowned out by the roar of metal. We burst out. Daylight had never looked so painful and beautiful at the same time. We had made it. We were alive. but there was no sense of triumph, only a terrifying realization. An army of monsters was growing beneath the surface, and we had only angered them. Nick's hand squeezed my shoulder. "Carrots," he said, his voice hoarse. "Look at that puddle." It was seeping from the sewage. It had already entered the water system. The battle wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning.